All right, so you've got a Dodge, and that pesky check engine light just popped on, showing you a P0440 code. First thing, don't panic. We're going to walk through exactly what that means and follow a super simple, logical game plan to find the fix, starting with the easiest and most common solution first. Ah, there it is again, right? That little check engine light staring back at you from the dash. It's just so annoying. And yeah, it can be a little worrying. But here's the good news about this particular code. The fix is often way simpler than you think. We can totally figure this out.
Okay, let's get right into it. The first step to fixing any problem is understanding what's actually going on. So what is your car trying to tell you when it throws a P0440 code?
The key word here is general. The P0440 code is basically your car raising its hand and saying, hey, I've got a leak somewhere in the emission system, but I can't tell you exactly where. So that means it's our job to play detective and hunt it down. Now, the number one symptom, obviously, is that light on your dash. You might also, every once in a while, catch a faint whiff of gasoline, and you will for sure fail a smog test with this code active. But really, 99% of the time, that light is going to be your only clue. And here is a huge sigh of relief. Unlike some of those other, scarier check engine codes, P0440 is not going to make your car run rough or stall out or leave you stranded on the side of the road. It's an emissions problem, and it needs to be fixed, but it's not a pull over right now kind of emergency. So if we're gonna find the leak, we need to understand the system that's leaking. It's called the EVAP system. And trust me, even though it sounds super technical, its job is actually pretty simple. To put it simply, gas fumes can't just vent out of your fuel tank into the air. So the EVAP system is just this sealed network of hoses and valves that's designed to capture all those fumes and then route them into the engine so they get burned off cleanly. That's it. It's a really simple three-step dance. Vapors built up in the tank, they get stored in what's called a charcoal canister. Think of it like a sponge for fumes. And then, when you're driving, a valve opens up and the engine sucks those fumes in and burns them. The P0440 code just means there's a leak somewhere in that sealed-up path. Okay, let's start hunting for our leak. And we are absolutely going to start with the single most common cause of this code. And the best part? It's also the cheapest and easiest thing to check by far. Seriously, I can't say this enough. Before you even think about buying any parts or going to a mechanic, you have got to check your gas cap. A massive percentage of P0440 codes are caused by this one little thing. I know it seems too simple, but that cap is the main door to the whole system. Your car periodically runs its own little pressure test to check for leaks, and if that cap isn't sealing perfectly, bam, the test fails and the check engine light comes on. So here's your action plan. First, just go out to your car and tighten the cap. Make sure you hear several good, solid clicks. If that doesn't fix it after a few drives, take the cap off and inspect that little rubber seal. Is it cracked, brittle, or maybe even missing? If so, you've found your culprit. And please listen to me on this, only replace it with an official OEM cap from the dealer. Those cheap aftermarket ones are notorious for causing this exact problem. Okay, so you checked the gas cap, it's on tight, the seal looks brand new, but that dang light is still on. What's next? Well, now we have to follow the trail of those vapors and start looking at the system's plumbing and its valves. Your next job is a simple visual inspection. Pop the hood and just start looking at the plastic and rubber hoses around the engine. Then, if you can do it safely, take a peek for hoses around the gas tank area. You're just looking for anything that looks old, cracked, or maybe has popped loose from where it's supposed to connect. Now, there are two main valves you should know about. There's the purge valve, which is usually easy to find right in the engine bay. It's the one that lets the vapors into the engine. Then there's the vent valve. It's usually tougher to get to, down by the fuel tank, and its job is to seal the system shut so the car can run that pressure test. And hey, you can do a quick check on that purge valve yourself. It's pretty easy. With the engine running at idle, just disconnect the hose on the engine side of the valve. Then, put your finger over the port on the valve. It should be totally closed at idle, which means you should feel absolutely zero suction. If you feel a vacuum pulling on your finger, that valve is stuck open, and you just found your leak. But what if the gas cap is good, the hoses all look fine, and the purge valve passes your little test? Well, the leak might be tiny, like a pinhole, hidden somewhere you just can't see. And that's when a professional tool is a game changer. The absolute best way to find a tricky leak is with a smoke test. A mechanic has a special machine that gently fills the whole EVAP system with a harmless smoke, kind of like the kind you see at a concert. Since the whole system is supposed to be sealed tight, any little spot where you see that smoke puffing out, well, that's exactly where your leak is. It is so effective for finding those tiny cracks in hoses or bad seals that are pretty much impossible to spot with just your eyes. And a smoke test can find more than just a bad hose. The leak could be coming from a tiny crack in the charcoal canister itself or a bad seal on the fuel tank pressure sensor. These are definitely less common for sure, but a smoke test will find them every single time. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, so let's wrap this all up into a simple step-by-step game plan that's going to take you from staring at that glowing light to enjoying a clear, worry-free dashboard. Here it is, your roadmap to success. 1. Start with the gas cap, always. 2. Do a thorough visual inspection of all the hoses you can see. 3. Try that quick and easy purge valve test. And 4. If you've done all that and you're still stuck, it's time to stop guessing and get a smoke test to find the exact problem. Oh, and one last super important tip. After you replace a part, the light won't just turn off by itself. You need to use a code scanner to clear it. Then you just have to drive the car for a few days like you normally would. This gives the car's computer time to run its tests again. If that light stays off, congratulations, you nailed it. So there you have it. That P0440 code isn't some big, scary mystery when you have a logical path to follow. By starting with the simplest stuff first and working your way up, you can diagnose and, a lot of the time, fix this common problem all by yourself. The only question left is, are you ready to go turn that light off for good?